Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back to Live from the Kill House. Tron's in the Kill House, so I can say somebody's actually in the Kill House. That's exhilarating. DJ Pie here, joined clockwise on my screen by Solly. Solly, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I got more energy than I did last night. That's safe to say.
Love to hear that. Love seeing the little TV turned off. So there's
it's 42 inches. I don't want to hear anything about it. TV is fine.
TV.
I'm sure it is.
Find a new slant.
I'm sure it is. Big Randy, how are you, man?
Oh my gosh, guys! If I was any better, I would be looking at a night in jail tonight.
They'd be calling the Colorado State Highway Patrol on him if he was doing any better. TC, after many mic difficulties, you're sounding loud and clear. How are you?
Feeling like Bill O'Reilly. Doing it live.
Doing it live. Solly, that's officially my intro. Let me pass it over to you.
We are going to start the show giving a shout out to our friends at Rap Soto. You've heard us talk about this, and I love the live show because I can show you just how small, compact, and portable this mobile launch monitor is. At rapsoto.com/NLU, you can use promo code NLU for $100 off. Take note of this. It expires June 22nd. I don't want anybody message me on June 23rd saying, what was that code again? No, you got to go to rapsoto.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off one of these units. And they're like $500 to start with. It's an incredible deal. They're very accurate. They get within 2% of a TrackMan or any kind of unit that costs $20,000. And they got the mobile launch monitor app, automatically tracks your stats. It stores video, gives you tracer on it. It's helpful for club gapping. And if you are trying to increase your speed or anything, or trying to increase consistency around a certain number, it's super helpful. It gives you immediate feedback, creates better practice environment. You don't want to go out there and just mindlessly hit balls. Randy does that all the time, and he's not gotten any better because of it. Again, it's about the size of a rangefinder. Look how small this thing is. You can use it indoor and outdoor. rapsoto.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off a mobile launch monitor. You're not going to find that deal anywhere else in golf.
It looks small, but it's actually 42 inches. It's just the screen that makes it look small.
It's the same size.
Guys,
same size as the TV.
I took Freddie to the range today. We were using the Rap Soto the whole time.
How did he do?
How are his numbers looking?
Super. His launch angle way too steep. He's playing hockey out there.
It seems like his smash factor would be absolute ass.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's a speed freak, though.
He sucks. Like he took a divot out of the practice screen. So Alex actually got mad at me because I was getting frustrated with him. I'm like, this is why I don't take him to the range. That's why I don't bring him to the range.
Well, I think that seems like one of those things he won't do again.
Did he have a better day than Richard Bland had today, though?
Yes.
Oh.
I think he made more putts, legitimately.
I said this to you guys. I can't imagine like waiting until age 48 to get in contention, and then on that day, it wasn't that the ball striking was off the planet. Like not getting any of your putts to the hole, the only chance you're ever going to have to win a U.S. Open. Like that blows my mind. I know it's not a situation he's used to being in, but I can't imagine like not going down swinging, at least if you get in that situation.
Especially when your entire thing is leaving putts short. Like that's been your entire problem your whole career. As Hicks said 15 times. It's like, I'm going to do the exact opposite today, what I always do. Right.
But I also could see when you're in a situation like that, you're trying to avoid like things are moving quickly. And I think you're constantly telling yourself like, man, slow and steady, just play smart, don't make bogeys. And I think if he would have ran, one of those things 8 feet past and started 3-putting I don't know. I get how it happens, I guess. It's the one that was like the 7-footer that he left short. Maybe not so much, but
he could have played himself out of the tournament if he'd have let that happen. If he'd have 3-putted one, but hit it too far by. But I was heartbroken, man. We needed that storyline going into tomorrow. Like I think there's got to be a rule. You got to be top 30 in the world to win a major, or outside the top 100. It's long shots only, or like horses.
I could get with that.
Listen, that's compelling. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to police that. That would be a tough sell, I think. With
no, you got to strategize.
Mackenzie Hughes.
Strategize your qualifying
right now.
Strategize your qualifying. Try to get in the top 30 or get outside the top 100. Just think about it.
All right, where do we want to start? Spieth is only 6 back. Should we start there?
DJ, people are asking where you are too. I would say the Bin Laden compound in Abbottabad.
I would say none of your fucking business. How about that, people? I'm in an undisclosed location. How many more times do we got to clarify that?
He's just outside a major metropolitan area.
That's right. Exactly.
You guys are bad guys. What's all right? Let's go around the table here. What's the biggest story of the day? Randy, you first.
Oh my gosh, the Chasers, the Peloton. I think the biggest story is Rory, Bryson, Rom, Wolf, DJ. I'll even throw Scheffler in there, even though he's never won anything. Morikawa just lining up to hunt down that group at 5 under. Should they falter?
Alexander Vinokurov lining up there.
TC, biggest story of the day.
Biggest story of the day for me was Azinger trying to squeeze in every salacious piece of vocabulary he could possibly get into that broadcast. Muff, squirter,
Shart.
Jesus.
Yeah, short. Just a lot
Snatcher.
snatcher, tandem play, all sorts of stuff in there.
He had a bet with somebody that he could get as close to the cancel line as possible and not step over it, and he won that bet today.
It was kind of like the picking, who will not win bet. How close can you get?
DJ, biggest story of the day.
I'll save Louis for you. I'm going to say Rory. I think that was we haven't had that juice from Rory on a major weekend in quite a while. I mean, kind of going back to, I don't even really remember. I know he was in the final group with Reed, right, at the Masters. What was that, 2018, 2019, 2018? And I don't really remember a ton about his Saturday, but man, it seems like it's been a while since we've had a weekend where Rory's very legitimately in the mix. And I'm sure we can dive a little deeper into his round, but he grounded out on the back nine. It was really fun to watch.
It looked like the classic Rory's coming and then hooks the ball into the canyon on 15. And
that was sick.
But made 5 out of that. 240 out from under a tree on the hard pan and made 5 out of that. That was the flip it at the bottom, Rory. That was a guy we hadn't seen. We've seen him piss away every run that he's made. And that was the moment for me. It was kind of okay. This is a real thing. 2 shots back going into a major. I truly don't know when I felt like I didn't have to do if he shoots 29 on the back, he may have a chance going into the final day. We can do that at the turn tomorrow. But, I truly think, I mean, very clearly, Rory has a great chance to win the U.S. Open tomorrow.
Solid. I would even say Rory getting that up and down, more so than that shot.
I thought for sure he was going to miss that putt.
Oh, yeah.
That was not an easy pitch shot, back up into there. I was a little disappointed he didn't go down into the canyon, though. That would have been.
They showed that snake.
That would have been compelling TV.
Rich and compelling. God, what if he would have gotten bit? That would have been unbelievable.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was texting some people and was kind of man, it would be like that. I would have totally believed that if it was man, Rory's making his first very legitimate run on a weekend at a major, but he got bit by this snake and now he's out. I'd be like, yeah, no, that's
really snake bitten.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, you got to wonder if a prior Rory without his daughter's cousin on site there, if he would have gone down in that pit and risked his life. But it's all that
new perspective. It goes both ways
there. NBC trying to shoehorn in the Poppy line and not having footage of Poppy was a extremely tough scene.
Well, also I mean, I don't know. I'm not super deep in the McElroy family, but that was very obviously not his wife.
Right.
I was like, man, I think that for sure doesn't look like her, but I guess she had a kid. Maybe she looks a little. No, I don't think her hair wasn't even that color. I definitely don't think that's her. And then they cut back, and anyways, I got a good comment here before we move on from friend of the pod Lane Sharts. Randy has always is widely declared Rory dead. Lane suggests if Rory wins, Randy should have to eat 5 McRibs.
Is the McRib on right now? Is it on the menu right now?
Well, we'll have to look into that. I'd say maybe whenever it comes due, maybe Randy just puts that in his growing pouch of misery.
Well, here's show of hands. Who picked Rory to win this week? Go ahead. Show of hands.
Did he win?
I did in another thread, but it doesn't count.
Okay. All right. Well,
congrats. Did you pick that?
I mean,
I picked Richard. I picked Richard Bland. So.
Yeah, I got Bryson. So we're sitting in the exact same seat right now, big guy.
I got Hovland, which is a scratch. I don't get penalized at all because he was clearly hurt. All that,
Mm-hmm.
Tough scene. Did you read his Instagram post?
Yeah.
About the sand in his eye. Unbelievable. Yeah. And what meandering literary experience reading that post. I would suggest anybody go look that up. That was good stuff.
Hovland's the best, man.
He's awesome.
That we need that dude on the podcast.
I like
Come
the
on,
one.
Team
I like
Moss.
the Hovland. The Bryson hit somebody in the face with his driver, didn't yell for, and somebody threw up Hovland's picture of his bandaged up eye. That was pretty good.
That was probably the tweet of the day. Yes, here's a photo of someone hit by Bryson. Ridiculous. This must stop. One like equals one prayer for this person's eyesight.
Oh man! All right, where do we want to go? Saul, you're driving the ship. What do you want to do?
I mean, I feel like we should start at the top. Mackenzie Hughes shot 300 today, which I have to admit I was quite surprised when I saw him at -4, and then they show us the highlight of the eagle because he was very much dropped from coverage treatment early on.
I don't think he was dropped from coverage. I think he just was never included.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're last night, man. I don't want to say I told you so, but
you did not tell me he was going to go shoot 68 today, so don't tell me. So don't do it.
I did. I wanted to talk to him I wanted to talk about him last night, though, and you guys kind of glossed over him and all that. He's a hunter, man. His best is truly world class.
Jay Barbudo, get this slander out of here. He says, "What number is smaller tomorrow? Mac Hughes front 9 or Solly's TV in inches? It's 42 inches. Do not put that number in Mackenzie Hughes's thoughts tomorrow. All right, you're a bad guy.
All I have to kind of say on Mackenzie Hughes, a lot of Honda Classic winners up there on the top of the board. People forget Mackenzie Hughes went 66 on the weekend, but of course didn't win. So who knows?
TC, I am not doubting. I would never doubt you, but can we explore Mackenzie Hughes being a hunter?
He seems like a very hungry hunter at that point.
Can we maybe
considering he's never killed anything?
Can we maybe unpack that?
I mean, he's a little bit of a gatherer too. He's like a hunter-gatherer. He's doing both. No, I mean, he's 30. He's got one PGA Tour win. He goes the RSM Classic.
That's right. So he subsists mostly on chicken. 2016
RSM Classic, won a 5-man playoff against Billy Ho, Blaine Barber, Henrik Norlander, Camilo Villegas. He's got one Web Tour win. He's got one PGA Tour Canada win, and he's made 2 cuts in majors. I don't know, man. When I've seen him in the mix, he plays good golf.
You just sold me. He's an absolute killer.
I don't know what he was talking about after the round though when he said, the setup's similar to the Farmers. I mean, the course is clearly playing very different because in the Farmers, the scoring average was 73.4, and this week the scoring average is 73.5. So I don't really know where he was making that connection.
That was good to hear.
It's a completely different golf course this week.
I was very happy he just came out and said no, it's pretty much exactly the same. That was kind of made me happy.
His interview with Bryson's back-to-back were
I
hope some people at the USJ take a long look in the mirror, both on venues, on setup, and on distance for how they've handled all 3 of those issues.
You know what I want to say? We've of course bagged on Torrey Pines. I'm sure that the flogging will continue until morale improves.
No, my mind changed when I saw the leaderboard today
amongst the audience. But one thing we should shout out for the USJ is the next run of venues is fucking sweet. Like it's about to get really good. I think it'll be fine. It'll be better than this.
It's not spectacular. It's substantive, not spectacular. Small greens. I've played both of the courses, like the little 9-hole Primrose, where they take I think 2 or 3 of the holes for the composite, and then but yeah, it's not going to knock your socks off. But provided they do a decent job on TV, it's going to be a really good watch because it's a good golf course.
Very, 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 very thick rough. It's going to be a lot of that. But then we've got LACC, then we've got Pinehurst, then it's Oakmont, and then Pebble, I think. I mean, it's
Shinny.
Shinnecock's in there too.
And then Pebble.
Yeah. So listen, we got to get through this year, and it's about to get really good.
Which going back, I mean, I think it seems like Rory, they were making comps to the Congressional US Open asterisk win that he had there. I'm surprised Rory was never in the mix at Bellerive. Really
seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, because that's kind of his role. He just collects at all these kind of lackluster major championships.
I'm surprised the computer didn't sim him in for Baltusrol also.
Yeah, the Jimmy Walker year.
That was a rogue patch of programming, I think.
I won't hear any Hoylake slander from you, TC. I
No,
know you're a
love
Hoylake fan.
Hoylake. This is just domestic. This is
Okay.
just domestic.
Can we talk about Louis?
I'd love to. Louis rules, man. Randy,
What is that, Randy?
I'm so over it. I'm sorry if that makes me the bad guy. I'm so bored with Louis. He's gonna shoot 72 tomorrow and not really be a factor. I'm done with it. He doesn't do anything for me.
You know what I hate about this? Randy like never gets these like totally and completely wrong. We just need one of them, one of these bold calls to completely flip on him that we could play back at him, but it never happens. I believe you now. I didn't believe it until right now.
That's
Randy,
why
I
you got to
just wanted
hashtag I'm with Randy. I mean, I nails it. He's the oracle.
Randy, I just don't understand. Like he's apathetic like you are. He gets like the most out of how little he put. Like you in the classroom, for instance, you were leading the entire university in GPA per hour studied.
We might be too similar. You know, it might be like too similar of beings.
Well, and also,
I don't know.
I don't want to speak for Randy, of course, but I know where I stand is we're only talking about his golf.
Yes, that's very true.
Couldn't
He
be
hates
more.
golf. I think
Yeah,
he
he hates golf. No, I'm all in on that. I just don't think he's going to win the golf tournament.
No, that's sick. I thought we were talking about him in the context of like, oh my God, he's 5 under. Will
Yeah.
he win? Like,
Yeah.
no, of course not. Like, come on.
I'm super glad I subbed him out. It literally had already made the pick and took him out of my picks, and he's tied for the league going into tomorrow. I don't think he's going to win either.
man.
I don't
I
think
think
he's
he
going
was
to
my
win.
pick.
Really?
I think he's going to do it tomorrow.
I was just getting ready to ask, like, would you take any of those guys at 5 under? I
would take
I don't
Henley.
think
I would take Henley.
You're taking Henley's your pick. Let's just do this now. Who wins tomorrow? You're saying Henley?
I think. Well, Randy was talking about of the guys at 5 under.
no. I mean, you can have any of those guys or anybody else. Like, I'm not taking anybody at 5 under to win.
I'm either taking Oosthuizen or Rom. It feels like Rom should be up by 5 right now.
That's what I was saying too. How far back? Rom is
I'm 3 back.
3 back. I mean, Bryson. I know. I
think it's Bryson or Rib. I think we might have a showdown tomorrow.
I feel like the Rib is just has burned me too many times. My heart, of course, says the Rib. If anybody on that, like, there's no one I'd rather see on the board than Rory. Would be so fun. But listen, if we're gonna bag on Louis and what we've seen in the majors the last couple times, like, we gotta not ignore the Rib's recent history the past 7 years. Like, it hasn't been good on Sundays. So
I think we've touched on it in the past. I'm not totally sure if we have or not.
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not getting swept up in Rib Saturday here. Like, I'd be happy to be wrong. I hope I am. I hope he wins. It'd be great. But my head's either Bryson or Henley right now.
You're so high on Henley.
He's a killer, man. When he gets he is.
God.
He is. When
killer?
look at the record. When he gets in the hunt, he fucking gets it done.
Do
How
words
often is
not
he up
matter
there?
anymore?
How often is he up there when he doesn't win, right? Like, when he gets in the hunt, he gets it done legitimately.
The Sony Open, like, come on.
And
A killer?
others, a Honda Classic, he put a bullet in Rory's head at the Honda.
Like, once, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, how many? Listen, this is what are you going with, Bryson? That's fine, but Bryson's 2 behind. 2 shots is a lot in the U.S. Open.
Now that Bryson's going to go out par 1, birdie 2, and Russell's going to make an early. No, I love where Bryson's at. I absolutely love where Bryson's
TC,
at.
we'll see you later, man.
Yeah, thanks. He can't even handle that part of the conversation. Can we talk a little Bryson while we're at it?
Sure, I'd love to. What would you like to talk about?
I want to make it very clear how a year ago this stance, when he's going in with this new strategy, right? I'm going to bomb it. I'm going to find it. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot about what kind of golf courses reward this playing style that I didn't know a year ago. I would have laughed him off both this golf course and Winged Foot, because I would have thought you need to be in the fairway. And before a lot of other people truly figured it out, he has gone to a playing style that has helped him, I would say, manipulate U.S. Open setups. I would have said this, like, U.S. Opens are for gamers only, the mentally tough, and there's no chance I would have put him in that category. He won it by 6 last year, and he's defending his title with about as good as anyone he could have realistically expected out of him. And I am I don't want to say in all of that, but I am in respect of that. I'm saluting that to this point. And I think like the floor is just so damn high that it would take like a truly off the map day.
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. It would take an off the map day for him to shoot to end the tournament, over par or even at even. So I just wanted to get all that in, putting all the chodness aside. His golf game is kind of blowing my mind right now.
I actually really liked his interview today. I thought it was pretty interesting. And he was very straight up about everything you just said. The fact that, he's kind of seems to have cracked the code, but he also put the very important caveat on there that like, yeah, listen, that only works on some golf courses. That was the first time I've ever heard him say like, clearly it doesn't work at Augusta, which was interesting because I think all of us, at least myself for sure, thought it definitely would work at Augusta. And I still think it might if he gets kind of like some of the nuance down. But it's been another fun one to watch this week.
I think they should outlaw the greens books before tomorrow.
That'd be interesting.
You think they will?
This is last.
What would power rank kind of the hierarchy of projects if you were running the USGA tonight between outlawing the greens books, fixing equipment, and connecting the Billabong on 18 to the Pacific Ocean?
Well, they can't do that. That would have to be the city of San Diego and the.
Well, I think they could probably grease the wheels.
They could ask for forgiveness.
True.
Yeah, of course. But I think that's a multi-year project. Where you would have to do a whole lock system with that.
Well, there's big elevation change.
Yeah. But no, I would probably roll back the ball tonight.
Yeah.
And then
can you imagine if they showed up on the first tee and they had a uniform ball they had to play tomorrow?
Morning, boys. Go ahead and grab a ball out of the basket there.
I don't see what the big deal is. Jason Gore played with it this morning.
Out of the fishbowl. Grab whatever color you want out of the fishbowl there.
Yeah, go ahead. They're all the same. Go ahead.
It was impossible for me to see Jason Gore play as the marker this morning and not think about the 2004 U.S. Open.
Let's get it.
All right, now I've made a couple of doubles. Now I got to
go for that day, right?
Now I got to go out and get it.
Speaking of Jason,
one thing that's not allowed still to this day on USGA events is a rangefinder. And did you know that No Laying Up is brought to you by Precision Pro Golf? They launched their Father's Day sale. You can add the NX9 Slope, which we all use, to your golf bag right now for $25 off. A secret that they didn't want me to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyways. You don't have to be a father to buy one for yourself. You can add the award-winning rangefinder to your golf bag for $25 off. Biggest deal of the year. You be your dad's favorite kid if you want to get him one for Father's Day. Listen, it's going to be his favorite gift. Again, everyone here uses it. It's got all the features you want. Crystal clear display, slope-adjusted distances. It's got target lock, pulse vibration. It's very satisfying to use. Built-in magnet sticks right on your cart. I could go on and on about the features of the Precision Pro, but they don't want me to do that. They want us to get back to the podcast. It's got the best warranty and customer service in the business. They got real customer service. It's not just an email. If you call them, somebody who's an actual golfer is going to answer and help you with your question. Only rangefinder that comes with lifetime battery replacements. So go to precisionprogolf.com, add our favorite rangefinder, the NX9 Slope, to your golf bag or to your dad's for $25 off for Father's Day.
And the
good question there from Vincent. There.
The rest of this podcast live show is brought to you commercial free by Precision Pro.
Thank you.
That's right. Where should we go?
What was the question?
Well,
I did want to say Happy Father's Day to Randy also.
Well, thank you guys. That means a lot. Two things. One, Precision Pro customer service reps, excellent golfers in their own right. And number two, Solly, it was a 2005 U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I believe that you were thinking about.
You're correct. I regret the error.
And that leads into what I was going to ask about. Great segue. Do we have any 80s or worse in the final group tomorrow? Because God, I hope so. It's been a little while.
Not at Torrey.
What did Bland actually shoot today?
77 was it? Torrey does not have like looming. Yeah, 77. Torrey just doesn't have like looming disaster. Like you get in trouble, it's like bogey, and like if you fall on yourself when you get in trouble, you make double. Like it's not. It's so weird
seeing my guy Wilco shoot 80 today.
Didn't see that number out there.
True ghost is born situation.
Well, when the ball stops near the greens, if you miss it, like there's just not that high of a score unless you whiff from greenside. There's not that high of a score. How weird is number 7 after watching it all week? The only hole where there's like a runoff, a fairway runoff, is the 7th hole. Completely random.
It's variety. All you guys bitch about that there's no variety. There you go.
Ollie, it's funny to hear you talk about somebody not being able to make, double or worse at Torrey when your favorite player at the time.
Let's move on. Let's move on before you.
God,
how
was
do you
so
mute his
sick.
mic? How do you mute his mic?
Because anytime anybody hates on number 18 at Torrey, I just go back to that moment and I'm like, that hole gave us that moment. And
We're talking, of course, talking about Kyle fucking Stanley, as many people know him. Clanking one. What did he make? Triple?
He landed
Double?
it on the slope, like with spin, and it spun back into the water.
A lot of spin.
Took a well, it wasn't. If he didn't land on the slope, it wouldn't have gone in the water. And then,
Yeah, exactly.
it was the worst luck possible. And a really
I know who
bad
put
shot.
that fucking slope there. God, they must have put that in between Saturday and Sunday.
I don't think you could rip it into the water tomorrow because it's.
Didn't he almost do it twice?
Yeah, no, he went way long with the next one. But it's too firm now. You're not gonna. And plus, they're gonna put the pin back right probably, or where
Yeah.
are they gonna put it? Front right probably tomorrow. So they'll probably do the tiger pin. Yeah,
The traditional mediate location.
yeah.
Well, it's funny too. There was no way that Zinger, because I think that Rom clip of Rom making that putt from back, the back part of that green was from 2017 Farmers. There's no way Zinger had ever seen that clip before. Like that was before he was watching golf again, before he got back into the booth.
Wow, that's quite a putt, man.
Biggest putt of his life. Actually, might beat. Rom hasn't won a major yet.
BMW maybe.
Yeah.
He's won some big. He's won the Memorial too. That probably counts. But
Yeah, I mean, so did Bart Bryant.
that's true.
And Carl Pedersen.
David Lingmer, friend of the pod.
Scotty Scheffler sitting at 2 under was a sneaky one. I didn't quite fully grasp that until seeing this final leaderboard here. And Wolf sitting there at 2 under couldn't really get a sense of what his round was really like today, but he seemed a little bit all over the place. But
I feel like we saw a lot of
around.
Wolf, right? I feel like
I just feel like it's haphazard. I just feel like I'm not getting any like look into his process or anything like that. It just kind of like pick him up here, they pick him up there. I don't know. I haven't gotten in a good rhythm. You can tell the groups that like we're following both of these guys and we're going to take you through like each of their tee shots and versus like, all right, we're only following one guy in this group. And that's what it feels like with Wolf every year.
Well, I would say with Wolf, I mean, we probably saw at least 20 shots of his today. I think we saw 3 or 4 shots of Scotty Scheffler, right? I mean, and like Wolf played, I give him credit. He had a couple bad misses. He made some big time putts, like that putt. God, what hole was that? 14, I think. And then like, just a couple like knee knocking, big breaking putts. I feel like 73 was probably the lowest he could have shot with how he hit the ball today.
Yeah.
His putting stroke is really freaking good. Yeah, he's 4.18 strokes gained putting for the week so far. But all the dudes at the top, Russell Henley 5.2 gained putting, Oosthuizen 6.4, Hughes 5.1, and Bryson 6.2 gained on the greens alone. So, and I'm guessing
I know I texted you guys about this. Wolf's just extremely watchable. He's like fucking electric when he's on screen. I'm all in on watching Wolf. I really hope he's in the mix tomorrow. That would be really fun.
he's interesting. No matter what happens, if he plays poorly, if he plays good, he's interesting, and obviously a lot more interesting when he plays well. But
And just like when he plays. First tournament in 2 months. If he wins the US Open, that would be
pretty nice.
It's pretty miraculous.
So yeah,
Pretty
pretty good.
remarkable.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's time to talk about Xander. That was
hurt.
disappointing today.
It's not good.
That was
Did he
really-
birdie 8? Did he birdie 18?
No.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah, he started out bogeyed 1, bogeyed 5. He's 2 over through 8, birdies 9, and then bogeys on 10 and 11. Got 2 back there on 13 and 17, but overall, just this really lackluster 72 today, and just felt like he didn't have it from the jump. Right?
is Xander a hunter? It seems like he's getting
might be
fairly
a
hungry
gatherer.
at this point too. Yeah.
Well, he could be hunting for too big of game, right? And he can't land one of them. He can't bag one of them. Whereas you got other guys that are like Henley. Henley's hunting. Henley might be a hunter, but Henley's hunting for squirrels and foxes and stuff like that, little rodents.
Just stay alive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Some sneaky DJ and Morikawa being in the top 10 were quite sneaky too. 68 from DJ today, which was by far his best round of the week.
You guys ready? You guys ready to apologize yet?
Are you going to celebrate T9 for DJ going into the final round?
No, I mean he had 4 birdies today. Bad bogey on 13, but overall you guys have just been dogging DJ a lot lately.
Well, he's been terrible lately.
Yeah, or identifying that he hasn't been playing well. Is that fair? He's been like the 30th best player in the world in 2021. Is that worth identifying? Is that worth making a point of?
But I think you're disregarding the fact that like he won the Masters last year, or
people forget that.
Was it a real Masters?
I have an asterisk by that Masters.
It was
Justine Reed said it wasn't a real
like
Masters
7 months ago, right? So I mean, it's not like he's been in the dark ages. Like people are kind of acting like, oh my God, DJ's in the wilderness. What's wrong with him? Da 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 da. It's like, yo, the guy's still like the best player in the world.
I mean, he had a top 10 at Congaree was his only top 10 since he won the Bonesaw. Like he hasn't been a top 10 player in the world since the Bonesaw. So we expect a lot out of him. Come on.
You know how much money he made for the Bonesaw though?
That
Appearance fees
may very well be true, but he also probably got fined for withdrawing from the AT&T week of without an excuse. So, what's your biggest disappointment of the day?
Man, honestly, like it shouldn't be because he's right in the mix still, but Rahm should literally be up by like 2 or 3. He did not get anything out of that round today, and you could kind of see it, like even starting on 1, like such a makeable birdie that he didn't make, and then going, and he just kind of was like ho hum, and stayed really patient. I almost thought it was like gonna be one of those weather the storm rounds for him, where it's like, all right, I didn't quite get anything out of it, but let me grab a couple birdies late in the round, and instead he made that double on 14, and it just, that, I don't know, that felt like it should have been 3 or 4 shots better than it was, honestly.
Randy, biggest disappointment?
That we have 3 guys at 5 under. Like if you just DQ'd all those guys, God, tomorrow would be such a good leaderboard.
Are you worried about those guys though? I thought you just said they're going to all go away. Nature's going to heal itself.
And then Solly sowed some doubt in my mind with, Torrey doesn't really throw up big numbers. So now I'm worried.
Have I gotten one thing right this week, Randy? Why is this the first thing you're believing?
I don't know. Just for the sheer electricity, I feel like, if you had Rory and Bryson in the final round or in the final group, it'd be so much fun. But
let's take them one by one here, because Mackenzie Hughes, no bigger fan of Mackenzie Hughes on this podcast except for Tron, but
documented Hughes. He's been on the podcast. He's great.
No,
documented killer.
Yeah. He's awesome. Hunter,
not a killer. He just hasn't had enough opportunities to kill yet.
He also has missed his last 5 cuts coming in, and it's one of those like
missed his last 5 cuts before the Honda, before he did the 66 too.
That's true. I forgot about that. But he also didn't win that. Although somebody said because he didn't shoot 66 today, like maybe that means he can win tomorrow.
Maybe it's a curse.
So I don't know. Now I'm all over the place with that. What do you guys think Henley's going to do? Because I feel like I'm out on this limb by myself. He looked fucking good today.
Really? I didn't think he looked very good.
He looked great. I
thought he looked. He's leading the U.S. Open for the first time, and he hung around and kept the lead. I thought he looked really, for that situation. He looked a little more comfortable than Richard Blandino.
He looked better than a 48-year-old journeyman looked in the final group.
They got about the same amount of major experience.
Henley was -1 strokes off the tee, +1 approach, neutral around the green pretty much, and +1 putting. So like a very pedestrian.
It just felt like treading water.
He was 18th in strokes gained today. So tie for 18th today.
He's leading the US Open.
I know that might be all he needs. That's what's worrying.
The homies at Data Golf say what the winning score likely to be 6 under, either 6 or 7. Like did Henley look like a guy that's going to go shoot 1 under tomorrow? To me, he did.
He didn't to me because he didn't shoot 1 under today. He shot even.
I think today is all about just getting his legs under him.
Oh, but wait till that wind picks up. You know, that wind we're all waiting for coming off the Pacific.
Exactly.
There.
I don't know.
Earthquake tomorrow.
Well, it kind of.
Think about how boring that pairing was though today with him. He didn't have any zest, didn't have any spice. Very bland pairing today for Russell.
True.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, good one. It kind of feels like what we said at the Masters. It kind of feels like what we said at Kiowa, though. It's like, in order to catch him, I mean, one of those guys is going to have to shoot like 67, which is currently the lowest the lowest round of the week. Like 2 shots is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Rory shot 67 today with like butchering 15, right? So it's not like it's.
Do you think he's going to go do that again tomorrow?
Not out there. I'm saying he could go shoot 65 tomorrow. He could easily go shoot 69 tomorrow.
He could shoot 59 tomorrow. I mean, 30, 29. It's all he needs to get right back in this thing. I will say,
I just don't want it to feel like I didn't warn you guys when Russell Henley wins tomorrow, and you guys are all like, "Oh man, what a boring tournament." We should see this coming.
DJ, I am heeding your warning.
Okay,
I am
thank you.
preparing for it.
Thank you.
what is look at the leaderboard. Torrey is awesome. Twitter do tomorrow if Russell Henley wins.
Forgets that's what they've been saying all week.
Okay,
probably, but
I would say my biggest disappointment of the day was Brooks. I still wanted to see Brooks shot 71, so that's not really that disappointing. But
Didn't you say Xander was your biggest disappointment?
I said I was disappointed in Xander.
But he wasn't on a large scale.
If we had time, we could roll back the tape. But I don't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter.
Listen, I'm just disappointed we're not going to get a Brooks Bryson thing.
That's his biggest disappointment.
And that, my friends.
Well, TC, they were tied going into today, but we couldn't put them together because of the way they finished, the time that they finished their rounds yesterday. So
we need to put Bryson with Robert McIntyre so we can teach him a lesson about shouting 4.
That was tough. That was what, number 4?
Mm-hmm.
He even talked about it in the press conference. Like, I was just trying to blow it out there as far right as I could.
It landed so close to someone, and he picked up his tee, didn't even look up at it. But
yeah,
I will say I don't remember what I was going to say actually.
Those
Damn it, it's going to be good.
I'll buy you some time. Is that really? Those people would have never heard him call 4.
Yes, they would.
I think it's a game of telephone. I think it's a game of telephone, though. I think he yells it, then a couple people 50 yards up yell it, then 100 yards up yell it.
Okay.
Someone's got to yell it from the tee, or multiple people. Like, it's not just on the player, but like send a signal that if you're aiming that way, like, come on, be ready to yell.
What the
at
marshals
people.
are for? Nonchalance of it too, right? It's just like he just truly doesn't give 2 shits.
Yeah. Or maybe he's just so deep in his own process. I think this is a good question from Cody White. Does Brooks fading today prove that this isn't a major? Hard to argue with that.
I mean, Brooks didn't really fade. He shot even par. He just
there were numbers out there. Man. This was the easiest day, though. Like he needed to. That was over par from anyone that's near-ish on the leaderboard. I think Morikawa is going to be the one that looks back at that day one with some like early day one, just hit so many pulls with irons, and if he doesn't do that, I mean, I know everyone can go eliminate their worst little 9-hole stretch and shoot up the leaderboard, but that's the dude that's probably played some of the best golf the last 2 days, but is not looking like he has a great chance to win this thing tomorrow. But
guys, how many pars do you think Bubba made today?
That's a great question.
I haven't seen. I'll say. Oh, okay. I'll say 6.
He made six pars. He had no pars in his last 8 holes.
Did you think Bubba was going to play well today? I forget what happened last night.
I think I wanted him to. I don't think I thought he was going to play well, but you could probably roll back the tape and I'm like him pick Bubba. But no, yeah, and I'm just shocked that Spieth is still where he is. 69, 68 the last 2 days.
Get this: negative strokes gained putting again, 3rd major this year, and he's T21.
He's definitely winning it at Royal St. George.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's already won it, in my opinion.
4-time major winner, Jordan Spieth. Anyone else we've skipped? You can hit us up in the comments if we haven't covered anyone. But
so I got a couple bones to pick here.
Oh yes, thank you,
Patrick Cantlay. Just complete non-factor again in a minute. Like, yeah, what are we doing? I'm sick of that. I'm done with him. I'm saying it right now. I'm done with him.
You putting a bounty on him?
No, I'm sick of it. Justin Thomas has had a weird week. Tied for 14th. Just I don't even know what he's doing.
I don't see any of it.
I never know what he's doing.
Yeah, just a weird week for me. I maybe a good week. I don't know if he's playing well or not. But I don't know. That's another guy. Like I don't have a feel for that one.
I do want to run back to tape on something from last night. I posed the question: who finishes in a better spot, Lee Westwood or Richard Bland? I believe the resounding answer from both Cody and Solly was, "Oh, Bland, of course, for sure."
I'll triple down on that.
Rich is gonna have to get on his horse tomorrow. It's a heads up match.
Yeah, Westwood's
Match play situation.
+1. Bland
match play situation.
Bland is I can't even find Bland. He's
they're both
13-1.
one over.
They're tied.
Both one over.
okay.
Yeah, I love where I'm at. Let's go through pairings. So we get Louis and Mackenzie Hughes in the last group, Rory Russell Henley in second to last group, Scotty Scheffler and Bryson in the third to last one. Louis kind of screwed up that we would maybe get Rory Bryson.
So going back, and I know, God, I always say going back, and it's in my head.
Someone said it should be a drinking game every time TC says going back.
The going back to Henley is just again with Henley. He's playing with Rory. That's a big spot, right?
Totally.
He's a killer. He should have no problem with it.
A big spot for Rory, you mean?
Shut up. You're a moron.
I'm just saying. Look, check the tape from the Honda Classic.
Matthew Wolf and John Rahm in the fourth to last group, and then Morikawa and DJ fifth to last. That's a fun last hour of tee times. The last group goes off at 3:55 Eastern, 12:55 local. So a little earlier tomorrow. We can debate that. I'm guessing it probably has to do with some kind of Olympic time trials or whatnot. But gosh, I hope we get a playoff and they can't figure out what to do with their programming. That would be the perfect bow at the end of this week.
That would be some Schadenfreude after the U.S. One's open.
You think they'll send it to Golf Channel for the playoff?
I'm sure. Randy, would you be bummed that it won't be the 18-hole playoff anymore?
I legitimately am bummed about that.
You wouldn't watch the 18-hole playoff.
Well, I wouldn't be able to watch the 18-hole playoff. But I think if you want to win a U.S. Open, you should have to win an 18-hole playoff.
Okay. TC, add that to your agenda.
I would. TC, I'd like for you to consider that. I'd like for you to put that near the top. There's no excuse.
We can agree.
Here's a list of local rules to check out before you tee off tomorrow.
We can agree 2-hole playoff is the worst in golf, correct?
That was bad. Yeah.
Sudden death.
That was bad.
3-hole or 4-hole would be way better than basically it's like a lifeline, right? If you lose the first hole, you could maybe make a comeback on the second hole, but it's not even like an aggregate. It's truly almost a true match play situation.
Do you guys not like the 18-hole playoff? I feel like you guys would be with me.
I feel like crotchety old media member. Like I can't plan a whole nother day around watching golf. Like as soon as the majors are over, that means we get busy again, and that's like how the world operates, right? Volunteers, fans, no one can like budget that day into their schedule.
I was gonna say I like the idea of the 18-hole playoff, but I really don't even like that much. I'm good on that. Yeah,
I'm fine with the
4-hole
Tiger
playoff. The British Open playoff is the GOAT.
Tiger Rocco, like letting that be the last one that we do with that. It's never going to beat that, right? Like the 18-hole playoff has very little chance of going down to the end, right? It's going to probably be a march of some kind. So I like it kind of more intense with a shorter length, but 2 holes just seems kind of silly. But we can debate that if we get to it.
What would Mr. Hogan say?
He would say play 36.
He would say most of these guys probably shouldn't even be in the field, honestly.
Again, sign me up.
So how far back is too far back?
1 under.
1 under is too far?
According to you guys, it sounds like 3 under is too far back because Henley is
I'm just trying to do very simple math here, guys. Like nobody in 3 rounds has shot better than 67. If you think someone's going to go shoot 64 tomorrow, like, yeah, I'm all ears.
I got to take it hole by hole, though. You know, let's say Mackenzie and Henley bogey 1 and
you're assuming those guys are not shooting over par tomorrow.
Do you think all three of them are going to shoot over par?
I wouldn't mind looking at the odds on a prop for that, a parlay of that.
You think Louis is going to shoot over par?
You think Louis is going to shoot over par?
I think he'll shoot even par.
So, all right, how do you guys think they set it up? Same.
I don't know
there's no other way to set it up.
That's the genius of Torrey. It's going to be the same every day when you show up. I think they'll move the pins. I bet they'll move the pins.
That'd be sick if they didn't move the pin.
They barely moved it from day 1 to day 3 on 8. Like it was still in that front little bowl that nobody could get to. I love how they moved.
So bad. Like when they show that hole and they show all that wasted cliffside space, looking back at the tee box, and you just see all that grass sitting there, and you're like, holy shit, this hole sucks.
They moved the tee up on 3 today, made it, and put the pin front left, and the leaders are coming through. And Fairdy's like, "Yeah, turn this into a real birdie hole on this day." There were 6 birdies on that hole today. It was like the hardest hole to birdie on the entire front 9, I think.
This is kind of the killer thing. Words don't really mean anything.
That's
You can just say whatever you want.
That's true. Xander's a killer. Never count that guy out.
No, he's just hunting too big a game.
Exactly. That's actually, I think that's the best take of. That's the best take of the podcast so far. That's good stuff.
He's like the snake that he just can't eat what he just killed.
Too big. Yeah, exactly.
He can't unhinge his jaw enough.
What did you guys think about Sergio today? That was
awesome.
That was sweet.
Can I ask you guys? Everybody complain about how bad the 13th hole is. It's been the only hole I've enjoyed watching so far. The 13th hole is awesome.
Is it awesome or is it so bad it's sometimes good?
I think it's interesting. It's somewhat interesting, at least. Like if you're trying to get it up close to that green and you miss, like you're going to have a really hard shot. It is a true, like either go for it or leave yourself a full number. At least there's something interesting about it.
They moved the tee up some today, right? Because there was a lot more guys. They moved the tee up 1 box today, so there was at least opportunity to get there. Yeah. Turns out they were listening to the pod last night because I called for that. Because from back,
thank you for that.
From the back tee, it's a terrible hole, and a little further up, it's like I don't know. It's still just very much okay.
Why do you say that though?
So no matter where you hit it, you probably got to lay up, right? And because there's the reward for going for it takes even for the best and longest players, takes 2 such unrealistic shots. Like there's no way in the models it would say that you should send it, right?
But it also like short circuited Phil's brain to where he hit it in that bush. Like that was awesome.
Sure, I wouldn't credit the hole with that. That was just a horrible shot. Like
I think it was 100% because of the hole. Because you saw the replay when he made that 9 or whatever it was in 2008. Like I think that hole's in his head. I don't know, Randy. I thought you'd be with me on this. 13's it's a maelstrom down there. It's awesome.
A maelstrom. I'm with you, Deej. I'll ride with you to the depths of hell.
Thank you.
Strutta in the comments is saying in 30 years, Pebble Beach will solely be a beach, and Torrey Pines will be one of the greatest public courses in the world due to coastal erosion. Which is
now that's interesting.
Kind of on board with that take.
That's a take. St. Andrew's probably gone too, but that's another podcast.
All you Torrey haters, do you know how early we are in this?
God, Brandel was just he was
oh no
all over the whole, Torrey is a great course. I was just like, dude, like why? Because of the leaderboard? Like I just don't understand that argument.
He didn't even go with that logic, I don't think. I mean, I think, what I really appreciated about that was, to get back at the woke mob, like to speak clearly to the woke mob, he went to Latin. He used a Latin phrase. That's what really helped him relate to the everyman with that.
It's the building blocks of language, dog.
Well, solid, and we're in the it's e pluribus unum week this week too.
That's right.
Yeah. I would love to have Brandel like conjugate some Latin verb.
I want to find the full quote.
I think it's interesting.
It deserves to be read.
I think it's interesting. Had that like if Torrey wasn't host to like Tiger's one of his greatest feats ever, I don't think nearly as many people would be like riding for it as some special course.
Listen, I agree.
How do you even say it? He said criticizing Torrey Pines is it dusum sequae? Is that how you would say that in Latin? I've never heard that phrase. I had to Google it. Is a dusum sequae exercise, but is arguably the greatest stage for the greatest player of all time, allows for all types of players to contend, and offers a blend of strategic, punitive, and heroic holes. No, it does not. Reese Jones's Restorations, Reese spelled wrong, have given us epic USOs. God,
Shout out to the troops.
What did you say was do some what?
Do some sequoia, DUCEMSEQUI. I do not know how to pronounce that.
I
I need to look up the Latin root of contrarian and see what that.
So
is.
he's basically arguing also that 08 at Torrey was better than anything he's done at Augusta, anything he's done at
The old course,
anything that he did at Hoylake, like
Pebble Beach.
Yeah, Pebble. I mean, come on, man.
Do some sequoia, whatever. Translates to follow the leader.
Yeah.
Listen, I was pleasantly surprised today. We had a very, very entertaining day of golf. I don't want to take away from that. Like we've talked about, Torrey sucks ad nauseum. It does blow, but at the end of the day, we have a good golf tournament going on, which I wasn't quite convinced of yesterday. Or
we have a close tournament.
I think we said that even coming into the week, and not that even matters, but it was very predictable to see what was going to happen. Was like, yeah, the first 2 days are going to be boring as fuck. The best players are going to rise to the top, and then Sunday will probably be good. Like that. I mean, yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with the golf course, though. Like that was the whole point of, and that's where when you talk about like, oh my God, this leaderboard, people are like, you know what also had a good leaderboard was like Shinnecock, and also had a good leaderboard was Bellerive, and also had a good leaderboard was, Wingfoot.
Augusta, quite frequently.
Maybe that just has to do more with like the 50 best players in the world all being there and playing 4 days. Like I think it has a little more to do with that. You know what else has a good leaderboard? WGC Memphis. You know what else has a good leaderboard? The Hero World Challenge. Like, yeah, I think it's just all those guys being in the fucking field, man. It doesn't have anything to do with the golf course. And the first 2 days were boring as shit. That has a lot to do with the golf course.
Yes.
I think also I think of it kind of like a baseball stadium, right? Where Torrey's like Wrigley or Fenway or something like that with like this, or Pittsburgh's got a great outfield there, very gorgeous. The Giants ballpark, something that's very, very scenic, but it's not changing the baseball game, right? You've just got these good views out. Like it's not raising the level of play. Whereas I feel like when you're at a truly great golf course, it's raising the entertainment value and the actual play on the field as well. It's not the window dressing.
Like when Houston had that mound in the back in center field. That was sick.
That was legitimately sick.
Yeah. Wait, the thing about Torrey, though, that we've probably not given enough credence to is like it isn't like bad is not the word. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like horribly designed. It's just like so lazily designed, right? I mean, it's not as if there's horrible features that kick balls away or don't reward or punish good shots. It's just dull. Like it's just dull and repetitive. Like there's a difference between the two.
Over and over and over and over again. And so, yeah, somebody's in the.
We finally lost TC.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody's in the truck. Some Torrey fans in the truck pulling the wires out.
Oh no!
I will say,
where else do we want to go?
Well, I was gonna say, like on the entertainment factor, I think it honestly is just like to your point, Deej. You need an interesting golf course to get you through the first 2 days, right? Because
I even would say I think we need an interesting, like we as in like extremely online, extremely like the people who are going to watch 12 hours of coverage the first 2 days. And that's not most people. And that's totally
true.
Fine. And I think a lot of the people who aren't those people are like, yeah, no, I watched for 35 minutes. I saw Rory hit that shot on 15. Like, yeah, that was crazy. And that's fine. That's a lot of people's, experience with golf. But I think, the point of this podcast is to talk about our experience. And our experience was that it was pretty shitty the first 2 days.
Correct. And tough sledding the beginning of today, too. They did finally, only coverage takes I'm going to have is it does appear they front-loaded commercials. And
today was much better.
No, I didn't say that. I said they front-loaded commercials to at least the back half was normal commercial load instead of insane in the front half because they were clipping about 7 to 8 breaks early, and they ended up around 4 in the back half. And it was noticeable. Like they had long flows of golf. It felt like an acceptable amount of commercials to watch golf for the last 4 hours of the day. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Do we give them credit for that or no credit?
No.
Okay.
No,
I
no.
agree. It's like, yeah.
You for 10% of the tournament so far, you had an acceptable amount of commercials. No, you don't get credit for that. Like you fucked us for the 90% here. That's not working. You can catch Tron on Peacock right now. You're back, TC. We can see you. This is why we were 15 minutes late getting this thing started. The Kill House Wi-Fi.
Tron's over on Parlor right now.
What's the
back,
other one?
folks.
Gab?
Let's
You
send
guys-
some questions in the
You guys
chat.
banished me over to
more
Peacock
before
for a bit there.
we could tell you were getting ready to say something incendiary and got hit with the Max Kellerman hit you with the mute button.
I have no idea
Next
what's going on.
topic.
Yeah. Like I said, I like Harding Park. End of story.
What do you got for us, Ollie?
Can we do lingering loitering?
Sure.
All right. Of course, everybody knows the rules. Lingering loitering, is this person for real, or are they not? Are they just lingering?
What you got to remind me which is
I don't know how to play this game.
dangerous.
Loitering. Loitering means you have bad intentions to do bad shit outside the store. Lingering means you're harmless.
Okay. All right.
All right, Mackenzie Hughes, lingering or loitering?
Sorry, Clint Novak. Email the main nolayingup@gmail.com. We're gonna send you a rangefinder for best comment of the night. The Tron is blowing into the Nintendo cartridge.
Mackenzie Hughes is loitering. He's got bad intentions. I'm a little fearful of him right now.
I'm gonna say lingering. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. I think
lingering.
it's lingering.
I
He
want to
made
shout
so
out
many putts. He
the
made
pride
so
of
many putts.
Kent State. I believe would be the first major winner from Kent State since Ben Curtis.
Oh, I thought I didn't know if you were gonna forget him. I'm glad to hear that.
Of course not. My Mac knowledge is pristine.
Pride of Mill Creek.
Louis Oosthuizen.
I'm gonna say loitering.
No.
Yeah.
What's the one he's not going to win? Lingering.
Lingering.
Yeah, lingering.
I'm gonna actually fool me 8,000 times. I'm gonna say he's loitering this week.
I'm
Seems
gonna say
like
loitering.
he's got a couple breaks bouncing his way this week. I don't know.
TC, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah.
We hear you just fine.
All right. Mackenzie is loitering, and then everybody else is lingering.
Okay, that makes it easy.
Okay. You can go back to doing what you're doing then.
Russell Henley, I think we all know, he's loitering.
Really?
I agree with you.
I do. I really think it's either going to be him or Bryson tomorrow.
I'm confident that Mackenzie and Russell will not win out of the group at -5.
Rory, I know he's got a record of doing bad stuff, but I think he's just lingering, unfortunately.
I think you guys would be way bullish on Rory. I think he's for sure loitering, and it's all the course.
Danny Grace, TC is lingering. That might be how we end the show. But Bryson is definitely loitering.
Bryson's bad
Bryson's
stuff.
my pick to win. Bryson's gonna win.
Bryson's huffing glue in the car, about to go do some bad stuff inside.
Supposed to pull on the president, the ex-president mask.
Snot
what do we
Boogie is
think?
gonna make off with the cash. Shout out to Mark for that comment.
We got anything else?
I got Rom, guys. I got Rom.
Yeah, pick to win. Pick to win. Or did we already
Bryson.
say that?
Bryson.
Yeah, I'm taking Rory.
All right, so we got.
I'll say Russell. Why not? It's fun
You gotta stick with it at this point, right?
fun to do bad stuff.
All right, we got 4 different picks. I like it.
That's exciting. What more can you ask for?
Thank you, Torrey, for just delivering us this great leaderboard. It's all credit to Torrey, and we couldn't have done it without you,
Guys, we'll see you tomorrow night.
I'm
By
excited
the way,
for tomorrow.
who wins the F1 race tomorrow?
Is Max on pole?
Max on pole, and then the 2 Mercedes, and then Checo.
I'm gonna go Hamilton then. If Bottas is beating Checo, that's a bad sign for Red Bull.
Good point.
I've got a golf take or a question for the group. I was blown away that the LPGA final round is on CBS tomorrow. I feel like this is out of the blue. I don't know if it's like they're just trying to jet stream some people flipping over from the US Open. I wish it's like the first time I can ever remember the LPGA being on CBS. I wish it weren't going opposite the U.S. Open. I just am really confused by that decision.
Does it have to do with Olympic, NBC, something?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
I remember Mike Wan mentioning it when he was on the podcast a couple months ago, and mentioning that they were going to be on network, including CBS for the first time. Like it's been in the works for a long time. I'm with you. I don't totally know why.
And who's going to be calling it? Like, certainly it's not going to be like the regular crew. It's just very strange.
We do need to give a shout out, though. I'm glad you brought it up, to Madeline Sagstrom, the young hitter in third place going into the final round tomorrow. So hopefully we can have that on the second screen.
And guys, we're missing the story of the day today. The amateur from Nairn.
Oh,
God.
We need to go deep on that on the Sunday night pod tomorrow.
Yeah, but I mean, he was down what, 8? I think he was down.
He was 8 down.
8 down through 18, and then he was 4 down with 4 to go, and he fucking won in 38 holes.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Jesus.
Outrageous stuff.
So we'll go deep on that tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a great day tomorrow. I am excited to watch the final round of the U.S. Open. That's one thing I can say.
Good stuff, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Cheers.